This is Steve Quinn, International Recruiting Director for Football University, and you're watching Gridiron TV.
Hi, welcome to this special episode of Gridiron TV. I'm your host Stuart Young, and I'm absolutely delighted to announce two very special guests tonight. I'm joined by International Development Officer for Football University Steve Quinn, and also Sky Sports and ex-NFL player Cecil Martin. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Gridiron TV.
Great to be here.
You've got a very busy schedule.
Kind of busy, yeah, but we're always happy to support guys like yourself that are helping us spread the word here in the UK.
Excellent. I mean, Steve, I've spoken to you on a number of occasions via interviews and things like that. We've talked about the camps, we've talked about the coaches' clinics. What kind of numbers are we looking at now for the coaches' clinics? The
coaches, we should have about 40 or 50 coaches there tomorrow evening, and we got Coach Larry Zerline coming in to give his offensive line background and do some clinician work on the offensive line. And then Ted Cottrell, who's really the innovator of the 3-4 defense, invented the 3-4 defense, is going to be speaking to the coaches. And of course, we're going to have Chuck Bresnahan, who is the defensive coordinator last year for the Oakland Raiders. So we're excited about what's about to happen tomorrow night. Yeah.
So we're looking at very, very good quality coaches.
No doubt.
Lots and lots of experience. You know, Larry Zerline won the Super Bowl with the Steelers in 2008. So you know you can't get better experience than that, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I mean, Cecil, you know yourself what it takes to be a top-end professional football player. You know, what made you get involved with the Football University?
Well, I started off working with NCSA athletic recruiting, and we're the official recruiting education arm for FBU All-American Games. And basically, I'd gotten an opportunity to see a lot of different types of camps and combines around the country, and they seemed good. But then when I went to an FBU camp, I was blown away. It was something I had never experienced, even just from observing and then providing recruiting education for the student athletes and parents. And so once I saw that, I said, well, there's nothing I want to do more than not only help kids get to college, but also get re-engaged with helping kids get better at football. And so getting involved with FBU was just a perfect fit.
I mean, on Gridiron TV, we're very big supporters of things like Football University and youth football, because it gets kids off the streets, it gets them away from crime, it gets them away from drugs, it teaches them respect for themselves, respect for others, and discipline, which I think a lot of kids nowadays sort of tend to lack from our eras, but we're showing age there. But Steve, we talked about the coaches there briefly. What about the player camps? What kind of numbers? I think briefly it was 150 last time we spoke.
Yeah, we're probably going to be in that 120 range, right around there. Yeah, about 120 athletes.
Okay.
We're excited about that. First time ever that we've been to camp. I was telling Cecil earlier, and Coach Ben and Coach Robert Orr, that when we first started doing camps in the States 5 years ago, we didn't have more than 100 kids at our camps. And this past weekend in Dallas and San Diego, we trained over 600 kids. So it starts anew everywhere. So we're excited about the 120 we're going to train this weekend.
Excellent. I mean, how important do you think it is to maintain camps like this in the UK?
Oh, well, I think if we're going to grow and UK football is going to grow, whether it's us or somebody else coming in here, I think it's very important that we bring in and continue to bring in NFL-type coaches and NFL-type players like Cecil that can really help the sport grow.
I mean, Cecil, we spoke just off camera there, and we talked about coaches and players are going to take away improvements to their game this weekend. But as coaches, what do you take away from teaching kids and other coaches?
Well, I think the main thing is that, those of us who play the game at the highest level and love playing the game, it's the teaching part of helping the kid develop, not just as a football player, but, what it means to really take pride in technique, take pride in becoming the best player, student, athlete, the best you can be at what you're doing. And so at the crux of that is really being coachable and really helping these kids understand what it really means to be good and work on becoming the best you can be.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we always tell how important it is. We always say that to start, you you keep football going, especially in the UK, we need to kind of start at the foundation level, and that's all about the kids. It's all about, you know, getting them, as you mentioned, off the streets, getting into high schools, get it into the school curriculum. It's not like the States here, obviously. Here it's soccer, rugby, things like that. So we're obviously trying our best, and obviously our next guest, we've got Ben Herod on the show. He's done very, very good job with kids in Bristol, for instance, running through schools and things like that. But you know, we look at FBU. And you know, you talked about the ultimate reward, and that is the Euro team.
Yep.
You know, you chose Ben Herod as head coach,
yep,
and also Rob Orr as assistant head coach.
That's right.
Why did you choose those two gents specifically?
Well, first of all, I don't think you can get a better tandem of what they're doing for their current, obviously with what Ben's doing down at Filton Academy and what Coach Orr is doing up at Sterling University. You know, doing some background on both those guys. They've done an outstanding job at both the universities. When we came over, they did nothing but support what FBU is about and what we're doing. So we felt only right to give these guys an opportunity to kind of bring this first team, you know, that we're going to have here in Europe, not just in the UK, but all of Europe, the All-Star team. And so we're excited about having them, you know, be part of this first ever, you know, international European All-Star team. And Coach Herod and Coach Orr will do a great job for us.
Certainly will. And you know, we spoke as well recently about what we're going to expect from players to get on the squad. What do they need to do?
You know, I think they need to impress Coach Ben Herod and Coach Robert Orr, you know, first of all, first and foremost. And also our NFL coaches this weekend. We've asked them and told them actually today on our bus ride from the airport that, look, this is what we're going to be doing with the European All-Star team. And there's going to be some athletes out there this week that know that they're going to be looked at. We want you to be part of that evaluation process and give us some feedback. Coach Herod, Coach Orr, and myself and Cecil some feedback on what they think the best players are out there, and so we can kind of huddle up at the end and pick those 2, 3, 4 kids that are going to play. I say kids, 2, 3, 4 athletes that are going to play in that first ever European All-Star.
And Stu, also, I mean, you know, everyone needs to know that even if you're not at this particular camp, and we're going to be doing clinics all over the UK, all over Europe, and so finding out when those clinics are, going to our website, really, you know, finding out where we're going to be at and show up at those clinics, you know, to learn how to play the game better, and then also that'll give you an opportunity to show us what you can do, and that'll be another way to make that Euro team.
Yeah, I mean, also I previously mentioned on the show, sometimes it's difficult for the kids to afford to come up to Scotland from down south in England to participate in this event. Is there any way those kids can make their way onto that Euro team? And if so, what can they do?
Well, we're talking about a schedule right now that looks like it'll probably be the end of August, where we're going to do some other clinics and combines down London Way, Bristol, probably make ourselves up to Birmingham and the Midlands up there, and then also another stop maybe here in Scotland somewhere. So we should have another 4 tryouts here, end of August, and then we're also going to put a team together to get over to the Netherlands and then over to Austria and Germany. So we're looking at having support from all 4 countries.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Cecil, we know you best from working on Sky Sports, or should I say the other channel. You obviously you've been in the UK for a number of years. You've worked with guys on Sky Sports, but what kind of British football have you seen, and what do you make of it?
Well, I mean, first off, I've been doing Sky for about 8 years now, and I had not seen too much British football. I had not seen too much American football played out here, except for the few clips that we might put on the show, you know, like the Brit Bowl or something like that. And so when I got a chance to meet those who are in the American football community out here, it was unbelievable. I mean, guys that have a passion for playing the game and coaching the game. And so since then, I've gotten a chance to see quite a bit. Got a chance to go up to Birmingham and watch them do their explosion beginning of the season. I got a chance to I've gotten a chance to get all over the UK and watch some different games. And so I'm excited to see more, but I'm also excited to see how the elevation of what I've seen over the last couple of years, and then what I'm getting ready to see as we continue to come out here and do these football camps, how that will rise to a whole nother level. Yeah.
I mean, we spoke just briefly about the youth level, starting from the foundations and working away. Unfortunately, in the UK, you're not allowed to be kitted between 11 and 14 years old, but in America it's different. You have your Pop Warner or Pee Wee football in America. Where do you see what we need to do in the UK to develop the kids, bring the kids onto this sport? What do we have to do?
I think getting into the schools, getting into the curriculum at the schools, as you mentioned before. I know Coach Herod and Coach Orr are trying to both do that at the high schools in their respective cities that they're in right now. I know in the States, like you probably do here with soccer, it starts as young as 5 years old. Yeah. Those kids are kitted out there at 5 and 6 years old, running around like little bobbleheads, and you know, they're learning the fundamentals of the game. And so I think getting those into the schools here at the grassroots level, I think that's a great beginning. And then having the camps like this that are really teaching the proper fundamentals and techniques, not just to the athletes, but to the coaches, because they're the ones who are going to have to carry it on after we're gone.
And I'll expound upon that. I mean, one of the main things I see is that you got these coaches out there who have been playing this game for a long time and now are transitioning into a coaching role. And if we can continue to help support them, help them continue to grow how they coach and how well they coach, then that'll trickle down younger and younger. And what we'll end up seeing is that more kids will have the ability then to play at the highest level. When I say highest level, I mean potentially at a college or university and in a Euro team like we're putting together.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you just spoke there about kids in America going really young. My little cousin Christopher in Vineland in New Jersey, he's just started as an offensive lineman in New Jersey, and he's absolutely loving it. And he's been asking me about this show and things like that, and you're getting a bit of advice, and it's really good to see kids getting so excited about this sport. When you were younger, Cecil, and you were making your progression through American football, did you have opportunities like this?
There was nothing like FBU. No, there was none. But I will say this, though. I started off playing flag football. And I know there's a lot of kids playing flag football. And for me, that was a great way to begin to learn a little bit of the fundamentals. But then moving a little bit more into tackle. I played 1 year of tackle football when I was like, 12 years old. Didn't play again until I got to the high school level. So I think that, as long as you're playing and you're working on the skills, you don't necessarily have to be kitted up in order to be working on your technique. But I think that me growing up, I do remember having the opportunity to do flag football and then move into tackle football, and it helped.
And is flag important to learn the fundamentals of the game?
It can be, because with this sport growing in this country, flag football will be a great way for young kids who may be 10 years old, 11 years old, I mean as young as 7 or 8 years old, to really begin learning how you catch a football, how you throw a football, how do you get into a three-point stance, just little things like that. How do you do certain things that need to be known? Like how do you stay low? Bend the knees a little bit, because in this game you got to have leverage. You got to stay low. So and then also speed training and quickness, and I mean it all becomes part of a kid developing their athleticism overall.
I suppose it helps. You work about three-point stance. When I was a wide receiver for a few years, and the thing I always found difficult was that the cheat step. At the line of scrimmage, when you're trying to get on your toes, you're prepared, ready to take off and do your route, or route as you want to call it. But yeah, you're right. Flag football, I posted up on a forum yesterday on Facebook about, if we had a pot of cash, where can we develop it? Can we do youth football, university, or senior? There's a lot of guys talking about, trying to get semi-professional. But one guy hit the nail on the head, like you said, flag. Flag is the key forward, because you're getting the kids in, you're getting the momentum from an early age, and it's going to basically graduate all the way through the ranks to senior kitted football, and as you mentioned, going potentially Eurobowl. And there's huge correlation. There's huge correlation between what you do in flag football and what FBU does, because you're not kitted up. This is supposed to teach you how to practice. I mean, this is how we practice in the NFL. We didn't always have pads on in order to learn what we need to do each week, week in and week out, in order to get out there and throw the pads on and play at your highest level. So, I mean, coming to an FBU camp, you're going to get that type of tutelage. You're going to get that type of help that you may be learning or you may be developing when you're playing flag football. I mean, Steve, let's go back to the Euro team. Obviously, it's San Antonio. Yeah. In January, you mentioned there's going to be obviously teams from Canada, United States, Japan, Europe. Are there scouts going to be there? And is this a potential stepping stone for the kids, not just from the UK, but for also Japan and Canada as well, obviously? Is this a stepping stone for them to try and get a scholarship to even like Division 3, Division 2, Division 1 college?
I don't even know where to start with that question, but the short answer is yes. Because just to give you an idea, at our youth level, we have a 7th grade game, an 8th grade game, and we now have a 15 and under Canada versus USA game. These kids are now getting exposure as young as 13, 14 years old. Whether it's right or wrong, that's kind of where it's going. We had offers last week from Mississippi State to a couple of 7th and 8th graders. Wow. So it's amazing where it's going. I could tell you from our National Junior Combine, which pits the top 500 kids in the country, which are 17 years old. Quick story on that is 2 years ago we invited our first 8 Canadians down to participate in our U.S. Army National Combine, which is the day before the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. And long story short is 2 of those athletes, about 2 weeks later, they did so well in the Combine, they tested so well in the Combine, there was so many scouts there in the Alamo Dome that they walked away 2 weeks later with full ride scholarships at Division I schools. So there's going to be a lot of scouts in the stands. The exposure is unbelievable, especially with the social media and how things travel virally. So to answer your question, absolutely, there's an opportunity for these athletes to get some exposure, and it really is up to them to produce while they're out there. But I think that's one of the nice things about what we do is we're able to give these athletes an opportunity and a national stage to put that right up in the forefront.
And with that, they'll get an opportunity through NCSA athletic recruiting to get connected into that network, which is made up of over 7,000 coaches. And that NCSA athletic recruiting really is the 800-pound gorilla in helping guys, student athletes, and parents through the college recruiting process. So the exposure through NCSA, who's a partner of FBU, they'll get an opportunity to have a profile up of academic and athletic, accomplishments, which will go out to colleges and universities around the country. And FBU has a number of other ways of doing that as well.
So it's not just a place on the Euro All-Star team. It's really it's your future, isn't it? And Cecil, just quickly before we wrap up, you played in the NFL. You're very experienced and also in playing the sport. If any of these kids want to make it to that kind of level, what do they have to do? Give me 3 things that they have to do that's the most important thing.
Well, I will tell you this. I mean, I've been down to San Antonio. I've been a part of that, and I played in the Rose Bowl in front of 100,000. I played in an NFC Championship game when there's only 4 teams left to get to the Super Bowl at the highest level with the Philadelphia Eagles. When you experience what is at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio as part of this Euro team, it will be something that you will have never experienced in your life, and some may not ever experience it. I put it on that level. So, getting to one of our clinics and getting to one of the camps and really showing what you can do and maybe getting on that team, that'd be one thing. The other thing is that I can't stress to young people enough the importance of education and focusing on your studies, getting your homework done. Making better choices and decisions. Young people really sacrificing in the right way to become the best they can be as students and as athletes. Okay, those 2 right there become the crux of it, and then from there it really does become a young person working on their technique and getting in front of the right people who can teach them that technique. And the only way to do that is to get with people who have done it at the highest level. I think that those would be the 3 things that I would really encourage young people to really focus on if they want to continue to rise up to another level.
And that's why it's important to participate in FBU.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, are you guys going to be down in San Antonio?
Hope so. If you would like to sponsor us,
well, I'll tell you, we'll help you out. If you guys get there, you guys got a place to do all your filming. We'll help you out down there for that game, without a doubt.
Okay, no worries. Well, look, big thank you to Cecil Martin and to Steve Quinn from the Football University. Remember, this weekend, big weekend for football. We've not only got the FBU going on, we've also got the university finals. We will be at both the camp and the finals in Leeds and Stirling, respectively. So, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on, and I hope all the success for the
Thanks very much for all
in the
you've done
future.
for us. Yep.
And I wish you all the very best for the bowl games in San Antonio as well. Thank you.
Hi there, and welcome back. Now joined by head coach of the Bristol Academy, Ben Herod. Hi, Ben. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So let's start a little bit about your current role, and then we'll talk a little bit about your recent exciting announcements. So
Sure.
You're down at Bristol Academy, the Pride. Can you tell us a little bit about how that is?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a great opportunity for kids to take their football kind of a step up from club football in this country. The thing that we do differently is we try to set up our model on the American high school out in the US, where we get kids in, we get them to practice 3-4 times a week. We push them into the gym 3 times a week. They have a sprint trainer, they have a strength and conditioner, physio, so that we put them in the best possible shape they can be. Because then we go into an American High School League of Europe where we're facing American high schools with kids that have got those dreams about playing in NCAA football. And it's a great challenge. It's fantastic fun for the kids as well.
Yeah, so it's been running on about 5 years now. I know you said you started with just a few kids, and now it's grown so much. It's obviously getting very popular.
Yeah, I mean, we started 5 years ago with about 4 to 5 kids. One of those kids now is playing Division III football on a scholarship with Illinois College, a kid called Samir Idrisi. One of them was recently announced as one of the all-star starting safeties, Hertfordshire Hurricanes, a guy called Dave Jennison. So I mean, even in that initial group, we had some really good kids, and that really helped us kind of build forward. Great,
yeah. So you mentioned that you're playing in the American High School League, so you get a chance to take the guys abroad, play some high school teams, some other teams like GB Under-19. So you must prepare them really well for that travelling long distances and playing at a higher level.
Yeah, I mean the travelling is a real test of will. I mean, we were on a 21-hour coach journey to Vilsec last year. You know, the kids are sleeping on the coach, and then when we get there, our accommodation was sleeping on the gym floor.
Wow.
So it's, you know, it's not luxury, because obviously there's a massive cost involved in just getting to Vilseck in the first place to play this game. But the kids handle it really, really well. You know, they're the true professionals in making sure that they prepare their bodies correctly in the gym, they're eating right. You know, they're not letting the obstacles stand in the way and using them as any kind of excuse for a poor performance. Yeah,
so now you're going to take that international experience in your new role as head coach of Team Europe, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And now we're going into FBU this weekend, so are you quite excited about the numbers that you've seen in camp so far?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough that they brought their camps to Bristol, so I've had first-hand kind of experience of what they do, and that's, you know, that was I mean, like I said, I've been coaching with Americans now for a little while, but that was a big eye-opener to see Coach Thurman more breakdown tackling, Larry Zerline go through offensive line play, really kind of opened my eyes to the way things should be done in this country.
Yeah, so we've got some around about 150 so after this. We were talking with Steve and Cecil before this. So what are you roughly expecting from the guys this weekend? I know they're travelling from all around the country to be there. What kind of the things are you expecting to see?
I mean, I guess the same as anything, whether it's an FBU camp or a Great Britain trial or a trial for our academy, the kids there want to be there. So you're gonna get really good intensity from the kids. I think hopefully we're going to surprise some of the coaches that are here with how technical the kids have got in the last couple of years. I know that there's some really good coaches around the country putting the effort in since the last FBU camp of teaching these kids the correct techniques. So I mean, I'm expecting good things.
Great, and we spoke about this before, but we're having at least 2 people coming from this to join the Team Europe, and possibly more. And you've also got the FBU Top Gun Academy, and I know you mentioned before you've had some guys go to the academy, to Top Gun, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very lucky with how FBU have helped us along in the past, and they selected Cameron Parker and Elliot McMahon, 2 kids from my academy, to go to Top Gun and see what it was all about. And they got, you know, Cameron Parker came back saying, you know, I got to line up against Barry Sanders' son, you know, in a drill, which is, you know, a fantastic experience for him. Yeah. And I really think that the guys that are lucky enough to make this Team Europe team are just going to have an experience they'll never forget.
Great, and you've also, there's going to be more camps as well going into Europe, so I know you guys have got a very busy schedule, but you'll obviously have some chance to go over and see what the talent's like in Europe as well. Yeah, I'm hoping to be a part of everything that's going on, so I'm hoping to get out to Austria, Germany, Holland with Steve and the FBU guys to you know, see what's out there and see the talent level. Excellent. Well, you know, I'll be here with Gridiron TV at the camps. I'll be covering it all the weekend, seeing the guys try out and you know, going into film sessions and so on. So hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with you during camp as well, to have a chat with you about how you're finding it, what you're seeing from the guys. Maybe have a chat with them as well. So yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And thanks for joining us in the studio. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Cecil Martin here, former Philadelphia Eagle, Oakland Raider, Tampa Bay Buccaneer. You see me on Sky Sports. We're here at FBU, NCAA Athletic Recruiting. You're seeing all of this on Gridiron TV.